Let's be real, most traders understand smart money concepts, but they are still struggling with entries. It's either they take their entries too early, too late, or at the wrong place entirely. So make sure you watch this video to the very end, because at the end of this video, I'll be able to open your eyes on how to take entries from the safest spot on the chart, how to take that refined entry and get beautiful point of interest that would dish out the move for you. So watch to the very end, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Let's go to the chart, guys. So traders, when it comes to entry, I have two entry models that I work with, and they are the aggressive entry and the confirmation entry. So make sure you watch this video to the very end, because I'm going to pick them one after the other and explain how and when you need to take these entries, when to take the aggressive entry and when to take confirmation entry. So we're going to pick them one after the other. Let's start with aggressive entry. So for aggressive entry, I've been able to, write out few stuff here. So from the screen, you can see that this is best used when the trend is strong for your trend continuation entry. And then when we are looking at the time frame, it's best used in 15 minutes time frame. And note, all confluences must be intact. That simply means the recent break of structure must be there. You map out the other block, liquidity and imbalance. Then execution, how to set this type of entry is by just putting your pending order, applying proper risk management. I'll also show you guys this on the chart. I've also been able to map out when to avoid aggressive entry. So when it comes to aggressive entry, avoid aggressive entry when the zone has been tapped before. If the other block you are trying to take this entry from has been mitigated before, avoid taking aggressive entry from that particular order block. And then avoid taking aggressive entry when market is consolidating, when there is no clear liquidity sweep, and when you are not mentally calm or focused. So please take note of this. We'll still go to the chart and you will see reasons with me why you need to avoid aggressive entry when zone has been tapped into, market is consolidating, no clear liquidity sweep, and when you are not mentally calm and focused. So that is it for aggressive entry. Let's quickly run through confirmation entry. So for confirmation entry means you don't take trade just because price reaches a zone. So the zone can be order block, FVG, and other zones. You wait for price to show intent. Emphasis on intent. You wait for price to show intent through structure shift or reaction before entering. So that is it for confirmation entry. So let me also show you guys when to use confirmation entry. So for confirmation entry, you use confirmation entry when zone has been mitigated before. If that particular order block has been tapped into, that is when you need to work with confirmation if price is trying to come back there again. Then when the market is consolidating and you've seen a certain structure, you also need to wait for confirmation to know whether price is indeed trying to move to the direction you want it to go to, or if it's trying to go south. And then when the trend is uncertain, that is, you are uncertain about the trend or bias, you work with confirmation. And when price is reacting to a support or resistance level, that is when to use confirmation. I've also been able to map out what to wait for if you want to work with confirmation entry. So pay close attention. So if you want to work with confirmation entry, these are different steps you need to work with. You need to wait for this. Now you need to wait for price to tap into that POI. So remember from the last slide, I just showed you when to use confirmation entry. So I said when the zone has been mitigated, or support and resistance level and the rest. So when price taps into that zone, you need to wait for what? The second one, that is internal break of structure or change of character. So having in mind that the zone price is tapping into must be a clean high probability zone. The zone must have created, break of structure pointing to the trend that is visible on the chart. Then once price taps into that your POI, you start looking for internal break of structures or change of character. So the time frame you need to start looking for this will be the 3-minute time frame and 1-minute time frame. So between these two, some can touch that of 5 minutes and the rest, but 3 minutes and 1 minute is okay. So once you get the internal break of structure or change of character, it shows price is rejecting from the zone and shifting direction. Then this is the next thing you will do. Your entry will be on the pullback of the lower time frame order block or FVG, depending on the one you use to take your entry. So once you get that internal break of structure from the lower time frame, your entry will be on the order block that caused that internal break of structure. Once you get a change of character, your entry will be on the order block that caused the change of character in the lower time frame. So just check it here. After change of character, wait for price to return to the refined zone. That will be your entry point, and your stop loss will be below the recent high or low, depending on what you are looking out for. So the next thing on the list is when to avoid confirmation entry. You avoid confirmation entry when the market momentum is very high, when there is high volatility, because when you are trying to take confirmation entry when there is high volatility, you may miss your entry because price may not have time to come and start giving you all those internal structures and the rest. So I believe that is it. We are going to go to the chart now, and I'll show you guys examples of aggressive entry, how to actually take it, just like I've been able to show you guys here theoretically, and also that of confirmation entry. So let's go to the chart. Okay, traders, from this chart you can obviously see that the market is pointing to the downside because we got this clean break of structure at this point. So you can see that we have a very clean break of structure at this point. Once you get your break of structure, you start looking for the origin that caused that break of structure, that is the order block. So you can see where the order block is at. The order block is here. So now this is 15 minutes. So this is also a clean trade I was able to catch. From 15 minutes, I had to put my pending order here because all the confluences I needed on the chart, on this chart, they are intact. We've gotten the trend, now a clean break of structure to the downside, my order block, and then FVG intact here, and then liquidity price will clear is here. So in this type of situation, I'll take my aggressive entry here. Then my stop loss will now be a little bit above the last week rejection. That will be where my stop loss will be, and then I will target the point of retracement. So it was a trade of 1:2 risk to reward ratio. So here my pending order will be set here. So all I would just want the market to do will be for it to come mitigate this point and then move to the direction. So the chart is on replay mode. Let's play so that you see how price reacted off the zone. Let's go ahead and play the chart so that you will see how price reacted. Now you can see price has mitigated the zone. So as price has tapped into this point, it has triggered my entry, and my entry is running. If it's a good trade, it's going to go straight to my TP, give me money, and that will be all. And then if it's a bad trade, it's going straight to my SL, give me losses, and that will be all. So this was indeed a successful one. So price tapped in, and you can see how it moved straight to TP. So I worked with aggressive entry on this particular trade. But now, like I said, I used aggressive entry. We are still going to check. Let's assume I wanted to use confirmation entry on this particular setup. Let's see whether I would have also, gotten an entry. So let's start from the 1 minute time frame. Let's view from 1 minute time frame. Let's see if I'll be able to get an entry opportunity if I used confirmation entry. So let's see. Okay, so from 1 minute time frame, I'm already seeing something. Let me just refresh the charts so that it will be bold. Okay, so let me take away this too. So from 1 minute time frame, you can see after price cleared the liquidity, I think there is also confirmation entry here. So after price cleared the liquidity, you can see when price tapped into the order block. So from 1 minute time frame, that created what? A break of structure to the upside, which was the last break of structure to the upside. Now, after that, price started retracing to the downside. So now, this was where the change of character occurred generally. Change of character occurred here generally. So if I'm looking to take entries, I'll have to look for the order block that caused this particular change of character. So for the order block that caused this particular change of character, if I'm to map it out, it will be here. It will be here. So that simply means from 1 minute, I will miss this entry. I'll miss this entry from 1 minute time frame. Let's check 3 minutes if we'll be able to catch the entry if we wanted to work with confirmation. Okay, from 3 minutes time frame. So 3 minute time frame, this will now be the order block because 1 minute was kind of refined. So we're still working with the last break of structure to the upside, and now change of character. The origin that caused the change of character, this will be the order block, so I'll map it out. So let's check whether price, let's highlight it well. Okay, you can see from 3 minutes, if I wanted to work with confirmation entry, 3 minutes gave me the confirmation I needed. So the confirmation here, remember the explanation, allow price to show you intent that it is ready to move before you enter. So you can see price rejecting from here, giving me a change of character, now coming back into the origin. Once I get this change of character, that is now when I'll be looking to take my entries. Now stop loss will now be above the order block, that is the new order block from the lower time frame that I'm trying to work with, which is this one. That is where my stop loss will be, just above here. So here stop loss will be around 25 pips. So one thing with confirmation entry is that you will get a well-refined stop loss. So let's check the risk to reward ratio the trade will give to us, because we'll still be targeting this point as our take profit. So here the risk to reward ratio will now be 1:6 compared to, let me check my aggressive entry. So my aggressive entry, I took entry from here, stop loss a little bit above this point. So aggressive entry gave me risk to reward ratio of 1:2, because obviously my stop loss was, way bigger than this. But then confirmation dished out, a well-refined risk to reward ratio that is 1:6. So it all depends on the one you want to work with. For me, sometimes I work with confirmation, sometimes just depending on the momentum from what I've explained, sometimes I work with aggressive. But then looking at this trade now, confirmation gave a better risk to reward ratio. Although aggressive entry gave us early entry into the trade, but confirmation gave sweet risk to reward ratio. So that is it. Let's also look at another example. So traders, still on gold, remember we were able to catch this particular sell. Now we have a new break of structure. Now from this break of structure, we need to look for the order block that caused this particular break of structure. So from this particular order block, looking at the origin, so we can see the origin started from here to this point. So inside this origin, you have to look for the order block that caused this particular break of structure. So now from this particular origin, if I'm to map out the order block, this will be the order block. This right here will be the order block. But then if I'm trying to take this type of trade as an aggressive entry, where to place my SL will be an issue for me, considering how the origin is looking. So when I am faced with this challenge, that is now when confirmation entry will come in. So for this one, we're going to work with confirmation entry. So let's play the chart to see if we will catch this particular setup or not. So let's see what price did when it tapped into the order block. So you can see price has mitigated the order block. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go down to 1 minute first. Let's go to 1 minute time frame and start looking for confirmation as price has mitigated the order block. So you can see from here, price tapped into the order block, giving us what? We have this break of structure here, which was the last break of structure to the upside. Now from here, price dished out a change of character. Now for the origin that caused this change of character, it will be here. The origin that caused this change of character, it will be somewhere here. So let's see whether price will push down. Now if we are trying to catch this, our take profit will be at this point. Now if we're trying to catch this, it will just be, the entry will be like this, and now take profit will be here because this is the point of retracement, just something like this. That's where our take profit will be. So it will just be an entry of, you're risking 13 pips to catch 48 pips on XAUSD. But then if it was for 15 minutes, our take profit would have been considering this level. So let's see. But from 1 minute, this is the confirmation entry that is present. Let's see if this one was able to. Okay, now you can see from this particular confirmation entry, this one was a bad one. So although price is still reacting to this particular order block, we need to observe. So price wasn't ready to move here. Price is still reacting to the order block, so this was a bad one. Let's look for another point of interest or another reason to enter, another confirmation. So price is back to the order block. Let's play the chart on the next line of action. Now you can see what the market did here. This will no longer be a change of character because price came back here to mitigate just this origin at this point. So we'll have this break of structure here, and then price created this particular break of structure here. So aggressive entry will no longer be in the picture because price has mitigated the origin, countless times. So we just need to work with confirmation. So let's take this away. This one was a bad entry. So now we have this break of structure. From here, we also have this particular order block which may be sending the price up. So this is also another way to take an entry. But now price is reacting to a supply zone. Will you be confident enough to take this particular buy to the upside, since that is the confirmation price is giving here, following that the change of character that occurred here changed back to a bullish trend? So let's see. Trying to catch this buy continuation here, your stop loss will be a little bit below the last week rejection, and then take profit will be here. So let's see if it's a trade of a good risk to reward ratio. So leaving the take profit here, it will just be a trade of approximately 1:2, but it's not 1:2 in full. So that's not a good trade of a good trade to risk unless you want to target this resistance level. So let's see if that will happen. So targeting this resistance level, it's now a good risk to reward ratio. So let's shift this. Let's see if price will respect it. So let's play the chart. So we'll take away the buy and just focus more on the sell confirmation we're waiting for. Let's see what price would do. So let's see. Let's play the chart. So price is literally ranging around this order block, but there is no clean confirmation yet. Now it's still rallying to the upside. So that simply means this order block is no longer in the picture. We are no longer looking for confirmation from this order block. So going back to 15 minutes, let's see where price is headed and if we should keep looking for a sell or a buy. Now, from here, price is no longer respecting the order block. Instead, it's trying to react to this particular resistance level here. So let's just map out the resistance level. Let's see what price will do. Now price has tapped into the resistance level. We'll still go back to 1 minute time frame. Let's see. So one thing about confirmation entry is that you need to follow the market back to back and open your eyes when you're trying to catch it, or you will still miss the entry. Okay, so price has reacted to the resistance level again, rejected. Now what I can see here is although this is a weak rejection break, but generally this will be where the break of structure, if we are looking for the last break of structure, it would be at this point. The last break of structure is here. So if we are looking for change of character, it will be here. But then let's see what the market will do, whether we'll get a change of character or an internal break of structure. So let's see. Okay, now because this is a weak rejection break of structure, so I will not call this a change of character. I can call it internal break of structure. Now from this internal break of structure, where is the origin that caused this internal break of structure? So generally all this consolidation here, that's the origin. But now if we're trying to map out the other block, it would be this blue candlestick. So it's looking as if the market is ready. So let's see. To be this blue candlestick, and then entry will now be here. Then for stop loss, a little bit above the last week rejection for the other block. Then take profit will obviously be here. This is the point of reversal as far as was pushing up, so take profit will obviously be here. But if it's 15 minutes, we'll be targeting this point. But since we did not take entries for 15 minutes, so we just have 2 points we are waiting for here. That is the 1 minute. We can call this one TP1 and TP2 if we want to scale it. So the line will be there. This will be for TP1. So let's see if we'll be able to achieve everything here. So looking at this confirmation entry now, it's giving us risk to reward ratio of 1:9. So let's see, because here stop loss is just 12 pips, or let's make it 13 because I want to consider the FVG here. So let's just move our stop loss. So let's see if price would dish out the move. If this does not give us the movement, then we'll know that there is no entry for us. We'll start looking for another reason to buy gold, because the sellers, because if you break everything and keep pushing up, that simply means the buyers are still in and gold is not ready for a sell. Okay, so entry triggered here, and it's looking nice. for the confirmation entry. So at the end of the day, we were able to catch the sell on gold, you know, following it back to back. So like I said, you need to open your eyes when you're trying to catch the confirmation entry. So from what I've noticed from backtesting, and you know, most of the times when I use confirmation entry, it gives better risk to reward ratio. So this one now is 1:9. Let's see if we'll be able to catch that in full. Remember, first TP here, so if price should come here, you should be looking to book partials. So let's see. Okay, too much range at the moment, but we are still in profit. Okay, price almost at TP1. Okay, TP1 smashed here and it is still dipping. So TP1 was able to give us how many risk to reward ratio? So TP1 was 1:4 risk to reward ratio, which, you know, is also a decent trade. But now let's see if we'll get it in full. We're almost there. At 1:9 risk to reward ratio, working with confirmation. So let's finish that up and see whether price indeed mitigated the zone. Okay, so this was a decent trade, full TP. Now pay attention on the entry. So guys, you can see how this particular trade was able to give us a decent, you know, 1:9 risk to reward ratio. So if you check how we got the entry, a clean confirmation entry, that is what you need to open your eyes to observe whenever you are trying to catch this type of setup, especially that of confirmation entry. Now you can see from the different examples, you will notice that confirmation entry gives us a well-refined entry and also a well-refined stop loss, more like a very tight stop loss, which will help increase the risk to reward ratio. So this was also a decent trade on XAUSD. Let's get some examples from GBP JPY. Okay traders, from this clip movement here on GBP JPY, you can see that we have a break of structure at this point and also another break of structure at this point. But now from 15 minutes, I'll be considering this particular level, which is this point here. That is where I'll be looking to catch this particular trade aggressively, while this would be my liquidity zone, more like an inducement level. So it was also a very clean setup. I was also able to catch, but I'm just walking you guys through the processes. So now you can also see my FVG intact. So remember the criteria on the conditions you need to meet before you work with aggressive entry. Make sure you're aligning with the trend and make sure all the compliances are intact. So now, having all these things in place, I will just put my pending order stop loss a little bit, you know, below the last week projection, just somewhere here, or let's just keep it here. Then TP will be at the point of reversal, which is somewhere here. So this is a trade of 1:2 reward ratio. So once I see it like this, I will put my, you know, pending order, waiting for price to come and mitigate. So I can see, let's see how price reacted. Okay, immediately we got this sharp movement. Now this is also, this particular movement, now you cannot catch it, you know, with a confirmation entry, because you can see how price tapped in aggressively. So here it will just mitigate the order or activate the order here and then move straight to the direction. You can see almost at, you know, TP, or TP even smashed at this point. So price just tapped in and boom, to the upside. Now this particular setup does not need confirmation entry just because of market momentum. You can see the push. So here aggressive entry will be, what will be favorable, because if we go to, let's check from 1 minute time frame and see if we're working with confirmation. You can see how fast that happened. It will not show. You can see there is no confirmation here. This, it's now where, price showed a little confirmation for, a continuation buy. Let's also check from 3 minutes. So you can also see from 3 minutes, no confirmation. It was a sharp movement to the upside. So this one is more favorable to aggressive entry traders. Let's also look at one more example. This is another example on GBPJPY. So after that particular movement, price dished out a decent break of structure. But now, looking at the origin, it's more like a support level, because the origin is not that inviting. If we're looking for the order block generally, this is where the order block will be for this particular origin. But price may want to, visit everything here, in the sense, stopping us out and moving to direction. So when the origin is like this, I always work with confirmation entry, because I'm expecting price to like clear everything here, try to grab all the liquidity before it will move. So I'll just map this out as support level. Let's see if price will come there. So let me play the chart. Now price is on the support and it's reacting. Okay, I played the chart so far, so you can obviously see that it has rejected and it is dishing out a clean buy. But let's quickly go down to 1 minute to see if that this particular buy, the confirmation showed up. So let's check. Now from 1 minute, what do we have? This was the last break of structure before price tapped into this particular support level, and then a change of character at this point. So from this change of character, let's move this a little. So this will be the other block that caused this particular change of character, but price didn't come there. It's looking as if it reacted off the FVG. So here now from 1 minute, the price reacted from the FVG, dishing out confirmation. So if you take entries from FVG, this is where you'll be catching it from, stop loss a little bit below the FVG, and then you take it off. So for 1 minute, the confirmation tapped into FVG. But now let's check from 3 minutes whether, okay, 3 minutes it's favorable to order block traders, because from 3 minutes we are still having the break of structure to the downside when price tapped into the support level, change of character, and now you can see the order block here in full and price tapped in. So this will be another confirmation, price a little bit below, and then we'll start targeting the point of retracement, which is this point. So the confirmation was very clean and it has refined it. So if we target this point, how many risk to reward ratio? So this will be 1:4, just 11 pips stop loss to catch 53 pips. So let's play the chart to see if this was able to give us full TP. Okay, price is indeed moving decently to the upside. Okay, now I can also say something, a little retracement, but inside that retracement, look at this too, which would be an opportunity to add positions if you are trying to scale in. Stop loss a little bit below, and then you'll still be targeting same TP. So inside one trade, you've been able to, catch 2 trades, and this one is given 1:6 risk to reward ratio. So let's see how much it will dish out in full, whether the two of them will go straight to TP. Okay, chart is moving clearly to the direction. Interesting. A very decent buy indeed. Full TP smashed and price is still pushing up. Full TP smashed, price is still pushing up. So this is for you to know that it works, whether the aggressive entry or confirmation entry. But from this video, I'm finding confirmation entry more interesting. But then you will be able to find this, like I said, if you follow the market, back to back. Make sure you open your eyes to see all these internal structures, because sometimes they will not be too obvious. But then if you see all these internal structures, you'll be able to milk the market. So these are ways to take your entries: aggressive entry or confirmation entry. I use the two of them, but like I stated with this video, confirmation entry is more interesting, but there are times you may miss out on your entries. It's normal, but at the end of the day, what we are looking at is what the win rate and how you are making money while protecting your capital. So that is it.